Paul, congratulations on being
Thank you.
the Hibernian head coach. How does it feel?
Yeah, great, really does. It's strange being asked today, how is it, how are you settling in? Honestly, first training session out of the way and it's like you've never been away, and that's at a new place as well, so yeah, it's good to be back. It's what I enjoy doing, it's what I've missed doing, so yeah, really pleased.
What was it about Hibernian that attracted you?
Lots of things really. So I knew a bit about the club anyway. When you're working in the game, you know how different clubs approach things or try and approach things. And Hibs always stood out to me as a club with a plan and a real clear way they wanted to do things and be successful. And that was sort of reinforced really through the process of the conversations that I had. So it only strengthened that. And when you think it's a good fit, which I did, I think you've got to go for it. There'd never be any such thing as a perfect job, I'm sure, but like I said, when you think it's a good fit, you're silly not to take the chance and really take the opportunity and try and make the best of it.
Can you talk us through the process and how it all came about?
Well, just really thorough, but when you've got an opinion on something, you can obviously strengthen it or it can take away from your thoughts, and it dependent on how people behave then and actions and if the consistency is there and everything that I imagined it would be, it was. So that's from initial conversations, what they wanted from me, the questions they asked me, the answers I got from my questions. Just really reinforced what I thought and like I said, made me think it was a really good fit, which is obviously the same the other way as well. So yeah, it was a no-brainer.
It was a club that attracted a lot of attention from others wanting the job, and at one point earlier in the week it looked as if it might not have been your job. Was that disappointing and it's all turned around and you're now?
No, because you learn not to pay any attention, because the week before I was told it was my job. I'm thinking, well, how's that happened? Because I've not had any of the conversations. So from me first speaking to George and Leanne, to then me eventually signing, there were lots of things written and said. One or two might have been true, but the majority probably weren't, you know. So you learn to just ignore the lot. You know what's going off because you're involved in the process, and yeah, that's exactly as it was.
Did you seek any clarification at the weekend, Paul, regarding if you were still in the running for the job?
No, I didn't have to. You know, I understood what the process was, what was going, what was happening, and it was as clear as that to us. You know what I mean? There was no reason for us. Nothing was happening other than what people were writing or saying that was contradicting what we were doing.
Someone said to you last week that the job was yours. That wasn't someone from the club, though, was it?
No, the press. And last week, yeah, the week before. So I mean, it's you get that though. While I've been out of work, you get linked with jobs you've never even thought about. You know, it's funny at home sometimes you see an odds slashed on yourself. All of a sudden, you're massive odds on favourite for jobs. You think you've not even spoke to them, and that's just how it is. That's how it is. So, yeah. I think my family's only just getting their head around that's how it is, family and friends. So yeah, it's just part of it, and you begin to ignore it all, which I know you guys get frustrated with when your job and you're chasing everything and you want the stories and stuff. But my take on it, I've already said to Kenny how I am with it. You've just got to take a backward step, or there's that much written and some right, some wrong. A lot of it right that people don't confirm for you or deny for you. That becomes the biggest part of the job if you let it. Well, I'll try and be the opposite and stay away from it.
You followed two managers who had great success, Aaron Stubbs, who lifted the Scottish Cup ending this 114-year hoodoo, and then Neil Lennon, who hugely popular amongst the fans, took the club from the Championship to the Premiership, record season ticket sales. What will you deem as personally being a success here?
To continue that. That's an appeal for me, because it's evidence of good work going behind the scenes. Two people who's been in charge and done really good jobs, but done really good jobs with the support and within this infrastructure, which is now what I'm in. So the more successful you are as well, so you look, so Scottish Cup, unbelievable success, great achievement, then get a promotion, great achievement. Now we're in with the elite, and to compete and overachieve against the elite, the margins are much smaller, so the job becomes much more difficult. Do you get what I mean? But that's the attraction of it. There's been some really good work gone off, and I'd love to be able to follow that and keep adding to that.
What's your take on And Neil Lennon was very complimentary about you last night on television, saying that he wished you all the best in coming to a good club. And the way it ended, though, seemed a little bit acrimonious with Neil in the club.
I've probably had better endings and more acrimonious endings myself, so that's getting part of the game. What you ask me, does it bother me at that?
Yeah,
or?
does it trouble you at all?
No, not one little bit.
Do you think you may have to win over the fans, given Neil's popularity?
You've always got to win over the fans at any club. What does that is results, 100%. But also, can the fans identify with you as well? Do they believe what you're saying? Do they know that you care? Do they know that you're trying your best for them? That's it. That's what they want to see from players. That's what they want to see from managers and anybody who works from the club. And you can't forget that the majority of people who sit here or play as well, that they've been fans or are still fans of their own clubs as well. So that's what football does to you. You're not detached from it when you work in it. You have to give it perspective, definitely. But you're a fan yourself, so you know what people want.
Did you speak to anybody else down in England regarding coming to Hibernian?
A few people obviously got in touch when the press came out, but my stance on it was not to speak to anyone about it because there was that much getting written. Like I said, I just wanted to. Advise what about the club and Scottish football? More so now I've taken the job. Like I said, I didn't want to advertise what I was speaking about with the club and this, that, and the other. People who are trusted, definitely. But I tried to keep it as tight as possible until after I've got the job. But I can honestly say the amount I've still not got through the messages and the returning calls yet. It'll take me over the weekend, I think, but every single one of it that I've seen has been positive, every one.
The head coach structure here is something you've dealt with before in the past. Is that something you prefer, so you can focus on the football?
Yeah, I'd like to ask you what you think the head coach structure is, because everyone's got an opinion on it, but it's irrelevant till you go into a club and you know what everyone's roles and responsibilities are. I've been called head coach, I've been manager. Within that, I've been a CEO, I've been head of recruitment, I've done the lot. Other clubs, you might be head coach, but hands are tied in lots of areas as well. So title's absolutely nothing to me. It was more, like I said, the conversations you have about what's expected of me, what do I expect from other people, what's his overall expectations, how we're going to achieve it, how we're going to get there. And that's what fit well, do you know what I mean? That's what I wanted, or how I would do it was very similar to here, based on, resources, infrastructure. So that's what was important.
What have you learnt from your spells as head coach, manager down south that you can take into this role now?
A hell of a lot, crammed a lot into it. Probably, but starting before, so you 100% learn your strengths and weaknesses, as a coach, manager, the roles of the job. Do you know what I mean? But every club is different in terms of pressures that's put on your roles, responsibilities, and like I say, just the demands to try and be successful. So, you name it, I've probably done it so far in terms of a role at the club. Things I've seen, success, failure, reasons for success, reasons for failure, trying to build, reasons for leaving somewhere. Crammed a hell of a lot in, so you can't fail but learn from that. And that sort of fueled a lot of the conversations that I had with George and Leanne on coming in, and they could probably see that in the things I was saying. So it just made me really clear. And once you know what, like I said, the environment you're working in, how can you make that better? The resources you've got, what's expected of you, then you can start to make good decisions. All I ask, and I said, and if those boundaries, if you like, never change, the goalposts never change, you can start to be assessed and you can judge yourself, am I making good decisions? If I'm generally making better decisions, we'll get better. If I'm not, then we won't. Your problems come in this sort of role is when goalposts change. And that's when you might be planning 6 weeks, working towards one set of things, and all of a sudden the resources you've got or people's minds change and you've wasted 6 weeks.
Do you feel you have to then prove yourself again after what happened at Leeds?
You've always got to prove yourself, all the time. You see now, and to be honest, when you're out, so I've took a step back. When you're working, so I'll put myself now in the bubble of work and working with the players, the staff here, and you do enjoy it. I'll get feedback from Kenny and what you guys are saying and that type of stuff, but generally you're away from it all. You don't listen to it. As soon as you're out of the bubble, so I've been out of the bubble for a bit now, A lot of it I was doing other things elsewhere, but when I came back and I was attending football matches as a fan, if you like, or just as an observer, you start to hear all the stuff that's said, and so you know you've got to prove yourself. It's like, how can that guy be under pressure? Look what he's done. But you are. Do you know what I mean? How can they be saying that about that manager? Look what he's done. But they do. And that's the way it is, and I think it's getting worse and worse, you know, with how instant information can be out there, and how quickly people can spread something, and the more following something gets, someone makes a statement, someone disagrees with it, this guy gets 100 followers, this guy gets 2,000, but there's an argument going now, and none of it's actually happened, but one of them must be true in someone's eyes, and that's just how it is.
I know you've only been here a few days, but what ambitions have you set out so far?
We've got some short-term ones in terms of, you know, we're still chasing that top 6. We know form's not been great, chasing the top 6 in the short term. But longer term, it's just to overachieve in terms of budget. Obviously, everyone looks to do it. So looking bigger picture, the form we'd need to get in the top 6 this season, probably between now and the end of the season, is top 4, top 3, top 2 form. But that's the form we want to try and achieve anyway, you know, in the longer term. So it just starts now.
Well, what can the Hibs fans expect from one of your teams, ideally, the way you'd like to play, and how quickly do you think you can implement that?
Well, the players I've seen today and in the games I watched before I took the job, you're looking for, are they capable of playing how you want to play? So we've got a lot of energy in the team, a lot of legs in the team, which is great, you know, because we want to be a threat on the counter, we want to press high up the pitch, we want technical players who can keep the ball 100%. But there's also flaws in the team which you want to correct, and that, if it's a flaw in someone's game, you want to try and improve it, but that takes time. But in terms of what's already in the building, yeah, we want to be on the front foot all the time. We want to press the ball high. When we win the ball, we want to play forward. Don't want any fear, you know. We will lose the ball. I'm not bothered if we lose the ball. If we lose the ball trying to do the right things, great. We'll just try and win it back out of the pitch again. So we want to be difficult to play against, play on the front foot, and play with an energy and a pace that's exciting.
Right.
Good.
Finally on the game tomorrow, what do you know about Hamilton?
Yeah, just what I've seen. So obviously one of my, when you say goal, one of my focuses now is getting round this league and understanding this league as well as I've understood the other leagues I've worked in, because what I like to do is work with players and get things tactically right. So that's what I see as one of the short-term things for me, really focusing on this league. So you know the intricacies of it, you know changes what will be made during the game if you're on top, you know, of the opposition, you know, and changes what will be made if you're not, and they're trying to shut up shop. So that's something I'll be focusing on now.
Had you watched much Scottish football or other than?
Oh yeah, you're always watching. I signed a couple of Scottish lads last summer, so you're watching a hell of a lot of games then, you know. One thing, the rules don't change. The rules aren't different in different countries. You know, it's the same game. It's refereed different up here to the Championship, and I don't think it's Scottish refereeing that's changed. I think, you know, the foreign influence, if you like, now in the Championship's massive, and that's rubbed off on the refereeing down there. So there's a lot more leniency up here, which I noticed straight away. But I'd seen that like with the players we signed last year.